Have you ever wondered why some leaders inspire with quiet confidence, while others energize a whole room with their vision? Why some love details and structure, while others thrive on big picture ideas? That's the power of understanding your personality and how it shapes your leadership style. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a fascinating topic: what your personality type says about your leadership style. And we're going to be using some very specific tools for self-discovery. So let's begin. First and foremost, why personality matters. In today's workspace, leadership isn't just about authority, it's about authenticity. Can't even pronounce that word. The best leaders know who they are, how they operate, how to adapt to the people they lead. Now, understanding your personality type helps you recognize a few things. It helps you recognize your natural strengths, your blind spots. It helps you communicate better with people who think differently than you. It also helps you build emotional intelligence by understanding your reactions. There are a few points we're going to consider in this particular section. The first is self-awareness is the foundation of effective leadership. In a previous video, we've looked at developing your self-awareness skills. In this video, we're trying to reveal the strengths that come with knowing exactly what kind of person you are. What is your personality trait? And no, I am not talking about zodiac signs. I'm talking about pure, hardcore psychology. Personality tests reveal strengths, blind spots, and stress behaviors, and they help you to lead with empathy and clarity. Now, research shows that leaders with high self-awareness are extremely effective because they understand whether you are leading a team, a startup, a classroom, whatever, your personality shapes everything from how you make decisions to how you motivate others. So, here's one of the tools we'll be considering as we expound on this very fascinating topic of personality test. It's called the MBTI framework, short for Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Now, it's based on four dichotomies or four key dimensions. I'll go through them one after the other. The first is extroversion or introversion. Now, most people are aware of what this means. It essentially says, how do you recharge? Extroverted leaders thrive on collaboration and visibility. They thrive in collaborating with others. They thrive in public spaces, working with other people and being visible. That's how they recharge their energy. But an introverted leader leads through reflection, listening, and depth. An introverted leader is not going to be one who thrives on collaboration, who thrives on big networking events. He's going to be one who is very reflective, who listens, who understands depth of emotion, and knows how to respond accordingly. Now, the next three are a bit more obscure, so we'll take it one after the other. First is sensing or intuition, how you process information. Now, sensing leaders focus on details, structure, and practicality. Details, structure, and practicality. In other words, the devil is in details. So if you're this kind of leader, you're one who is very particular about what the fine print says. Maybe you read the terms and conditions on documentations, but you're also very concerned with structure and being practicable. Can this thing work step by step by step? Intuitive leaders, on the other hand, inspire with vision, innovation, and long-term ideas. A simple breakdown of this is to say, sensing leaders see the tiny print. Intuitive leaders see the big picture. They are more focused on the big picture. The next one is thinking or feeling leaders. This one details how do you make decisions. Thinking leaders value logic, fairness, and efficiency. They value logical thinking, they value fairness, and they value efficiency. That's where they come from. But a feeling leader emphasizes empathy, harmony, and team well-being. Maybe you've met somebody who you feel is very cold, very calculating. It's possible that they are not really cold, they are not really emotional, they are more of a thinking leader. They prefer the logical arguments, they prefer the logical pathway rather than focusing on empathy or harmony. It doesn't mean that they are wrong as being leaders. It just means that they have a different approach to this particular situation. Now, the next is judging or perceiving. How do you approach structure? Judging leaders prefer order, planning, and consistency. Perceiving leaders are flexible, spontaneous, and open to change. Now, for instance, there are different aspects to this four dichotomies. Most people fall on a spectrum rather than a hard and fast rule. Maybe you are more ISFJ, or perhaps you are ENTJ. So it's more of a spectrum rather than a hard and fast rule. But over 80% of Fortune 500 companies use this method. Now, some examples of this are ENTJs, who are natural strategists and decisive leaders. Keep in mind that each type brings strength. The key is using them intentionally. Going back to understanding what your personality is, you need to know what your personality traits are and be able to intentionally follow them through. Now, Enneagram is a bit more obscure, so we'll break it down as well. There are 9 core personality types, and they are each shaped by fear or motivation. You have the reformer, who is the perfectionist. You have the helper, who is empathetic and people focused. You have the achiever, who is ambitious and inspiring but can tie worth to success. You have the individualist, you have the investigator, and all 9 of them. Now, the fun fact is that this particular one is increasingly popular with Gen Z for personal growth and leadership training. Unlike the previous type of personality, these ones they are less structured and more fluid, more flexible, and they blend in together because they dig deeper. They don't just go beyond the surface level of your personality and go into your core motivations as a leader. Now, understanding your Enneagram type helps you manage your emotional triggers, build self awareness, and lead with balance instead of burnout. Now, some examples of this style are here. You have the challenger who is bold, you have the loyalist who is reliable, you have the achiever who is results driven, and of course, the reformer who is principled and ethical. Now, your Enneagram type shapes how you respond under stress and how you inspire others. So, both build self awareness, and 90% of top performing leaders score high in emotional intelligence. In today's hybrid and high stress work culture, teams need emotionally intelligent leaders, those who lead with awareness, empathy, and adaptability. Now, there are some limitations to this. It's not a perfect science when it comes to personality tests. And of course, you shouldn't box yourself in or use labels. It is best when you reflect, grow, you have a growth mindset towards it. So you're not just limiting yourself to, oh, I am strictly a reformer, and so I can't think about doing any other thing. Apart from that, most human beings are varied. We have different personalities. All we're trying to build here is understand your foundation and ensure that you are aware of why you do what you do. Because your type doesn't limit you, it simply guides your growth journey. So my challenge for you. Take the MBTI test and the Enneagram test, not as labels, but as mirrors. Ask yourself, how can I use my personality strengths to empower others? And which blind spots can I work on? Because leadership isn't about being the loudest in the room, it's about being the most self aware. Of course, here's how you can apply this to yourself as a young leader. Take the test, reflect on how your type influences your leadership style, ask for feedback from mentors and peers, and build habits that balance your blind spots. So, if this video helped you gain some insights, hit the like button, share with someone on the leadership journey, subscribe for more leadership and mental health content. And of course, if you're in, please click the link in the bio to get your personalized personal growth plan, customized to fit you as an individual.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.